We are the DFPN. Always question the answers.
No Gimmicks Podcast, and we bring it to you. Every time we turn live, man, you know it's the truth. Every after show, move it down. This the time to move around. No Gimmicks Podcast is going down. Every night, every time in the ring. This is the time for the No Gimmicks. No, we doing our thing. What's your state of mind? State divine. Moving down a statement when we take the line. This is exactly wrestling the state design. When you see Stone Cold like me, with the stunner in the world, exactly, man, what we bring. Every night we move like Brock Lesnar, the F5, no gimmicks. We take you to your limit, what's the feeling? When we live in the air, you know we on, this the time. Guarantee we move, you know how we respond. The state is mine, the state design when we feel it. Moving down, what's the healing? No gimmicks is the feeling.
Yo, what is up, people? Welcome back to the No Gimmicks Podcast here on the DFPN. And if you're paying attention, if you're watching, if you're looking at the title, we are at episode 99. We have one more show to go before we reach our landmark 100th episode. And that is a testament to this show, ladies and gentlemen. But here we are. We got a lot of shit to talk about. Pardon my voice. I was at Wrestling Revolver last night, and that shit was incredible. It was an incredible night. Shout out to Metroplex Wrestling, MPX. They had so much talent appear on that card. Everybody did a wonderful job. As you know, we do have a show on No Gimmicks that features MPX weekly. Shout out to the Choice Matt Andrews. He was there last night as well. Very phenomenal show. They crowned a new Texas champion. That title will be exclusive to Texas. So anytime they come around, that title will be defended. And they are able to go out and defend that on behalf of Texas. So very good stuff. Shout out to Brick Savage, the new Texas champion. And they are going to be doing some wonderful shit. So shout out to them. Wanted to plug them real quick, put them over. Metroplex Wrestling is doing a wonderful job. I'm pretty sure you're going to hear that name come up a lot this year and beyond because they are setting up for some wonderful stuff. So I want to make sure we get them put over and acknowledge the work that they've been doing. Shout out to Metroplex Wrestling. But we are here. We do have some stuff to go over today. Me and my co-host, D Vader, the Sith Lord. What is up, sir? Also, I saw you've been working on some new gear, man. What you working on?
Well, so I am going further with the Kenobi Vader build that I've been working on. Give a real quick, a big shout out to a dude named 19 Props on Instagram. Reach out to him on some painting techniques for the helmet. So he's, giving me some tools to utilize. So I'm going to be doing that. So want to say what's up to him. Shout out to my homeboy, the Canadian Vader, who has also been helping me with this project as well. These are these guys that just know their shit. So I, thank them very much for helping me out with that. Been a very big week for me. Tuesday had a troop here in San Antonio for a terminally ill 13-year-old who has brain cancer. It was his birthday. So a bunch of us got together, dressed up. It was a Star Wars themed event for him. And that was a cool thing to do. That's what, that's what it's about pretty much to do those things. And also, first time I'm actually announcing this to people like only one knows, like my wife, but your boy here, D Vader, Frank D himself, is officially a member of the 501st Legion. You're muted.
Congratulations, my guy.
Yeah. I actually got the approval on Tuesday from the GML, so I am an approved 501st Legion member. A New Hope Darth Vader is my approved costume. So I'm very proud of myself for all the hard work that I did to put into that. Here, I'm a member of the Star Garrison here for the state of Texas. So, yeah, that was I actually got the news about that on Tuesday. The GML says you're approved, and yeah, man. So it's pretty good. You know,
Hey,
I
man.
take it I take it very seriously. You know, I was told at this event too, from one of the people there that um, my Vader is one of the best they've ever seen because I do the voice. I have the voice
Right.
modulator and all that stuff with me when I'm there. So I actually talk. A lot of Vaders don't talk when they're in costume. They just have the breathing going. Well, I actually talk to people, and
That's
that's
awesome,
like,
man.
yeah. So that's like, you know, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. Like, so just going through the process, bro. Just working on the Kenobi build. Doing what you saw, what I posted was I was doing the shoulder bells that goes for the chest armor. That's what I was putting out there. So next is going to be the shin guards and the process of paint and all this other shit. So it's I still got some ways to go, but just put it like this. I'm gonna just put it like this to people out there listening right now. If you are afraid to try something new, don't be afraid to try something new because
Absolutely.
this is the first time that I've ever done any type of project like this, as far as like putting my costume together and doing the paint work and just doing the research in order to even become a part of a prestigious organization like the 501st Legion. It's not an easy organization to get into. It's not. Um, I was rejected a couple of times for some stuff. So it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But I got it done. So if there's anybody out there that is kind of doubting themselves and doubting their abilities, don't doubt your abilities. Just always believe in yourself that you can get it done. Even when you think, damn, I can't do it, you can fucking do it. Because if I can do it, you can do it.
Hell yeah. Let's clap it up for that shit. Let's clap it up for that shit. Hey, congratulations, my guy. Congratulations.
Also, gotta say, bro, sound effect, that's cool. I gotta say, I gotta put over a YouTube channel right now.
Go
Okay?
ahead, man. Let's get into it.
Yeah. So there's a YouTube channel called New Wrestling World Order. Okay. The host is a guy named Dietrich Davis.
Yep.
Shout out to Dietrich Davis. New Wrestling World Order. Phenomenal content.
Yep.
Enjoy your shit, bro. We keep it 1,000 here on No Gimmicks at all times,
We
but
do.
you keep it 1,000,000. Just the shit you say, how raw you are with it, pull no punches. Your thumbnails are incredible. The shit that you write in the thumbnail is crazy. I'm like, whoa. And just the way you can
Yep.
go on a live stream and just call people out on their shit. I am a fan. I am a subscriber to your channel, my guy, and continue to do the entertaining and good work. Because yeah, you're the man with that shit. The way you go, the shit you say,
It's bold.
I'm like,
I ain't
it's
gonna hold you.
bold and it's just different concepts, and you actually make people think about what you're talking about. Like, oh damn, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize this. You do that. So Dietrich Davis, New Wrestling World Order is a channel. Keep up to your work, my guy.
I will agree with that. I will say too, if you get past his delivery, because his delivery is wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
He don't ain't no filter, bro. But like if you get past that, he's saying some real shit.
Oh, he's not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, he be saying some real shit.
He go at it hard. Like
Yeah.
seriously. Like and we don't usually come on here and put over other channels
Yep.
unless it's something. So if you're listening to No Gimmicks, you're a fan of No Gimmicks and what we do, go check out New Wrestling World Order and subscribe and go listen to Dietrich Davis.
Absolutely.
Lay the smack down on all these motherfuckers. That's what he does. Like for real.
Absolutely.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I am too, man. I am too. And he mirrors a lot of stuff that we say on here. He really does. Like I said, like once you get past his delivery, like he says some absolutely real stuff. Like he ain't hiding it. And I think it's refreshing in a lot of ways because he doesn't pull any punches. He doesn't have a filter, and it's him. So I
Yeah.
salute that. I really do salute that.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm saying. Keep up the good work, bro. Like we over here at No Gimmicks, we support you.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get into this show. We do have some stuff to keep it real about, and let's start with WWE, man.
Yeah.
WWE Night of Champions. I'm going to start there. Night of Champions. Traditionally, we have, and this is just me going off the cuff real quick. Traditionally, when you have Night of Champions, every single championship in the company is usually put on defense. That is Night of Champions.
Correct.
We didn't get that. We got King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and 2 championships defended that night.
Yeah.
So I want to start there. It makes no sense to me personally when you call an event that, but you don't, because as old school, I would probably be considered old school. Night of Champions means the whole night is championships being defended. That's how it traditionally was. That's how it should be. We're getting away from this thing, and I'm going to tie this into what we got with Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. We're getting into this theme to where the traditional sense of things is going away. So you have a person winning the Royal Rumble. That spot is usually, if you win the Royal Rumble, you're in the main event at WrestleMania. We did not get that this year. We get an event called Night of Champions. Usually every championship is on defense. We don't get that. We actually have the tag team champions in the crowd that night getting booed. So my question is this how it's going to be from now on? Because if you call an event something and you're not getting that, then what should fans expect? So I'm gonna pose that question to you. Does it seem like WWE is getting away from the traditional way that they've done things, and it's just like it is what it is?
You're definitely getting a lot less content when it comes to WWE. Absolutely. I think I told you before privately how they don't even fly everybody in anymore to these shows.
Right.
If you're being used on a card, then they'll bring you in. It's kind of but let's go back to the origin real quick of the concept of Night of Champions. If you remember, the very first Night of Champions was actually WCW Monday Nitro. The very final Nitro was March 26, 2001. That was the last. That was the inaugural Night of Champions, and it was pretty much every WCW title was on the line that night. That's where the concept comes from. Now, fast forward to when WWE brought it back as a pay-per-view, and now PLE. It's always been every championship in the company was to be defended on this show. That's why it's called Night of Champions.
Correct.
Now, what the issue is here is why didn't they just call this the King and Queen of the Ring?
Exactly.
You could have had it like that, and it could have been headlined by John Cena versus CM Punk. You could have did the exact same thing.
Didn't they do that last year?
I don't follow it. Like I don't even watch. I'll keep on. I don't even watch the Saudi shows. To be honest, like I don't watch them.
I wasn't gonna watch this, but
Yeah.
the idea of Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes had me tuning in because I wanted to see.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, for me, like that did nothing for me because you kind of already knew the conclusion of what was going to happen here.
Right.
You know that Cody was going to win, but you also know at some point that Randy's going to go heel, or Cody is going to go heel. Somebody's going to go heel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just think that, when it comes down to Triple H is he's hell bent on this either 4-match or 5-match PLE, and that's it. And it's just Vince McMahon would never do that. Like you would get a bang for your buck, especially when you're charging this absorbent amount of money to go to these shows, and you're getting 4 matches or 5 matches tops. And the Royal Rumble, as you mentioned, not even important anymore. You got the real important event was actually the Elimination Chamber because it saw John Cena becoming the true #1 contender and going on to WrestleMania to face Cody Rhodes for the championship.
Yep.
So when people go back to Jey Uso, well, Jey Uso was given that consolation prize because, hey, bro, you got people eating and you sell merchandise, so we'll give it to you. That's how I look at that.
Right.
That's exactly the way I look at that situation. And it shows because Jay is not going to be back in the title picture. That's a done deal. That's a wrap.
Oh, when they put him in this tournament, it was a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and the thing that doesn't make sense to me still is this. It's like, okay, Cody lost the championship. Why is Cody in a tournament to begin with? Why can't he get a rematch for the title? Wouldn't you like say, I want a rematch for my championship that I don't understand the logic of like old school, right? Okay,
right.
You get an automatic rematch for the championship. You remember, So June 28th, 1998. No, what happened June 28th, 1998?
June 28th, 1998?
Yeah.
Now, jog my memory.
Okay. If my date is correct, that would be the 1998 King of the Ring. So that would be Kane beating Stone Cold Steve Austin in the first blood match for the WWF Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, no, that's actually June 29th. That's today.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's why I say if I got my dates right.
Yeah,
so
that's today.
He beat so June 29th, 1998. Kane beats Stone Cold Steve Austin in the King of the Ring. The next time on Raw, Stone Cold Steve Austin gets his rematch. Invokes the rematch. That's what you're supposed to do. So why is Cody Rhodes wrestling in the tournament? Makes no sense. Why did Jey Uso drop the title to Gunther? Wouldn't Jey Uso say, okay, I want a rematch? I lost.
They got them two guys going against each other in the King of the Ring tournament.
So I don't understand the logic. Yeah.
Right.
I don't understand the logic in this. But I want to ask you something because you mentioned here, you mentioned the tag team champions were in a crowd and they were getting booed. Are you referring to the Street Profits or the New Day?
The Street Profits.
Okay, so why were the Street Profits being booed?
Don't know. Don't know. Shout out to Mac because he's in the chat. He said, did WWE get rid of the rematch clauses? Yes. From what I was told.
Did they get rid of the rematch clauses? Or are they just not there's some continuity there? Because you see some people get rematches.
Right. So
they use what they want.
Exactly. It's a breaking case, you know what I'm saying? Now, more so than it is. So it's not like how it's traditionally been. Not everybody gets one. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you see people like Jay and Cody in the King of the Ring tournament. And only one of them's going to win. The other one's going to fall off. And that's what you're seeing.
So let me ask you this question. Who is right now the Intercontinental Champion?
That's funny because I asked that question. It's Dom.
Okay, so wouldn't Dom actually be #1 contender for the WWE World Championship?
Traditionally, that's how
it's worked, right? So wouldn't that mean that right now Solo Sikoa is the #1 contender to the WWE Championship? He just won the U.S. title.
He just won the U.S. title, yes.
You would think so, right?
Yep.
But they've gone away from that. They've gone away from the traditions of the business. But I want to delve real quick back to this Street Profits being booed in the audience thing. I don't know why they would be booed. Is there something wrong with the Street Profits in Saudi Arabia to where they were to where they would have been booed?
They haven't done anything to be booed. They don't showcase them enough to where they're in people's minds to where when we see them, we boo them.
Oh, okay. Because I just thought it was kind of weird that they would be booed and then Jay Cargill would get booed too. I just kind of find it funny.
It is funny. Very funny. But they don't exactly. Max said it too. They don't be on TV enough to get booed. As a matter of fact, if you don't pay attention, you think they're still baby faces.
So are the heels?
They're supposed to be, but again, they're in this spot to where if they come on TV, they're getting jeered. They're not
It's
on
very
TV
weird.
enough and showcased enough to where they're supposed to be heels, because for them to get them tag team titles, they had to turn on people. They came in, they wrecked shop, and then it was supposed to be them and the Wyatt Six in a program, and that fell apart. That was the whole reason they went bad, because the crowd was supposed to love the Wyatt Six. But again, you're in this situation to where you don't showcase these people. So if it's out of sight, out of mind, then when you see them again, you're all confused. You're all fucked up because you don't see either of these people enough. But that was supposed to be the feud. The Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. And you don't see either of them on TV. They pop up in Saudi Arabia. And that's why I'm confused. They popped up in Saudi Arabia and they're getting booed. And I'm like, why? We don't see them enough on TV for you to know that they're bad guys.
It's not like the New Day.
Not like the New Day, right?
So I don't get it. I thought it was something else that was going on, maybe.
No. And it's like, I was very confused by that. But Oscar got booed too. And it's like, Oscar hasn't been here long enough. She just got back. If you just got back, so let's go back when Triple H got hurt and he came back, right? People went crazy for that. But Oscar comes back after a year-long absence and she's getting booed in Saudi Arabia. I don't get that either.
Well, it's Saudi Arabia. So,
like, is she supposed to be the bad guy? You know what I'm saying?
Well, she's a woman.
But, and we talked offline about this too. Rhea Ripley got cheered.
They like Rhea Ripley.
It's Rhea Ripley.
It's Rhea Ripley.
Naomi got cheered on SmackDown.
Yeah, that's weird. She's a heel.
Exactly. And it's like, so I had this issue with AEW. You know, I really did have this issue with AEW. They don't know who they want to cheer and they don't know who they want to boo. They've kind of, AEW's, and we'll go into AEW in a minute, but they kind of turned that around. WWE seems like they're going down this path of the crowd just, they like who they like and they don't who they don't.
That's bad. That you know, okay, I'm gonna tell you how bad that is, right? So in the traditions of the wrestling business, there's always been the baby faces and heels.
Yep.
And you kind of knew all the time when to cheer somebody and when to boo somebody. That all kind of changed. You know, we go back to like, well, who was the first cool heel that we had, right? That you cheered, even though he was a bad guy, we cheered him, right? Okay, if I remember, the first actual cool heel I can remember was actually Ric Flair. Because even though Ric Flair was a heel, people still cheered Ric Flair. They still cheered the Four Horsemen. You fast forward that, who was the other cool heels that people cheered for? Okay, Razor Ramon was another one that they cheered for. Diesel, when Diesel turned heel, he was another one they cheered for. Then the coup de grace were the NWO. Yep. The NWO were the cool heels. And I think I told you this, you know, in our private conversations, that they were so popular, the NWO, that the baby faces in WCW were pissed because they would be out there killing.
Yep.
So it's like, how do you get over? So I see the same thing happening right now in WWE, where you got Seth Rollins, who's supposed to be a heel, but they're still cheering him and still in the damn song. Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter. They're still barking for Brian Breaker. Like, this whole thing here is just it just doesn't make any sense. Like, the entire story doesn't make sense with Seth Rollins. It's never really been explained as far as what's going on here, why this alliance is even taking place, other than, okay, you wanted to stop Roman Reigns, but now you have a similar faction.
Yeah, Roman ain't even there.
Roman's not there, but you have yet a similar faction to that of the Bloodline. But your faction is not over. They're not over.
Nope. As a matter of fact, the Bloodline just might have been more over than you now. Based
Well,
off
yeah,
what happened with Solo in the debut of Hikuleo.
absolutely. Who's now Tala Tonga.
Yep.
So,
I don't know
but
how I feel
yeah,
about
it's
that
like,
yet, but
I don't know how I feel about it either. It's like they obviously want the name. They want to
yeah.
copyright the name. So,
Right.
we get it. But I don't know. Like that's one of the takeaways that I see here that they're gonna have to fix. They're gonna have to really pinpoint who the good guys are, who the bad guys are. And I see it happening in AEW too, like you just mentioned here with the
Yep.
Syndicate,
Yep.
Her Syndicate they're cool heels, and people want to chant "We hurt people," but they're heels,
Right.
and they're letting you know they're heels. Like there's no
Right.
mistaking about it right now. They're heels. Bobby Lashley is a heel. Shelton
Yep.
Benjamin is a heel. MVP is a heel. MJF, of course, is a heel.
Yep.
They're the Syndicate.
They're defining that.
They're defining that. You know they're a heel. They're not coming out. They're not. Listen. They're not pulling no punches here as it relates to what they are. They're ass
Correct.
kickers and their heels.
Correct.
You can cheer us if you want, but
At the end
we
of the
hurt
day,
people.
yeah. At the end of the day, we're here to hurt people.
Yeah, we hurt
Yeah.
people.
Yep. Absolutely. But let's go back to WWE in there, and this is another issue I have. And shout out to Matt because he put this in the Facebook group too. We are in this thing. We are in this spot, this situation, to where every championship match that main events a card has to have this immaculate, humongous run out of everybody on the fucking roster going to the ring. And
Are you talking about the main event?
Yes. It's like, man, why do you just give me a clean finish? You know what I'm saying? Give me something to where we don't need all of this. We don't need all the bells and whistles on the main event, bro. And I said it's like they keep trying to do the WrestleMania 40 main event, and they just keep trying to outdo it, and it's just unsuccessful, bro. They are not succeeding at this. But now it's like, so this main event, for whatever reason, they had Penta run out.
To no reaction.
To no reaction, right? So for whatever reason, and I'm like, bro, stop doing this, because there's no reason for Penta to even be out there. If anything, Penta should be going after Dom. But that's and it was sloppy. You know what I'm saying? It's like
the only one that made sense to be out there was Sami Zayn.
Yes, that's it.
The only one.
You didn't need Seth out there.
No.
Because you know he ain't gonna cash in. And
First of all, why I don't even care. I gotta say this right quick though. Why is Seth Rollins trying to cash in on Cena? You're a Raw guy. You're a Raw superstar. You should be trying to cash in on Gunther, the World Heavyweight title. Why do they have Seth Rollins trying to cash in on the Cena situation? That makes no sense.
It doesn't. And common sense to me would be like, well, you have Gunther versus freaking Goldberg in Atlanta. So you just killed that because you have him trying to cash in on Cena. And it's like, the play is there. You've already made it predictable. Don't try to make it unpredictable by saying, oh, well, he can kind of cash in on Cena. But no. The easiest thing for him to do and still be hated for it is you have Gunther lose to Goldberg because his body's all jacked up. He can barely move around. Have Seth come out there and cash in. That's how you take it. That's how you take that situation, and you have people talking about that main event in relations because you had the audacity to run it against All In. You know what I'm saying? People won't be talking about All In. They'll be talking about the cash in because they're going later in that night. That's logic. But what they're doing, it just doesn't seem logical.
I don't know. It's funny because we haven't even talked about the Goldberg situation.
Nope.
as a person like yourself that lived through the phenomenon of Bill Goldberg, and I'll give Goldberg his flowers. I'll give him his props. You had to be part of that when it was happening in WCW at the height of the
The
Ring of
hottest
War.
shit smoking, bro.
You have
Hottest
to
shit smoking.
you have to be you have to really like look at his debut match in September '97 versus Hugh Morris on Nitro
Yep.
to the point where he wrestled Hollywood Hogan in the Georgia Dome when he won the championship. You to the point where he lost the belt at Starrcade '98 to Kevin Nash. You just got to go back and
look,
just look at just the reactions this guy was getting, and it's like Goldberg should have retired years ago when he was a little bit healthier.
yeah,
I don't
I
think
agree.
now is the time for it, and I think it's going to be short and sweet and simple and to the point is the best way you can do this.
Yep.
But I mean, if they want to go out there and do it, if Goldberg is comfortable with doing it, it is what it is. It's sports entertainment at the end of the day.
Yep.
So it's Atlanta, Georgia. It's supposedly his final match. But you know what happens in wrestling?
Never say never.
Never
Ric
say
Flair
never.
proved that.
Right. So I don't know. It would be obvious to me that he would cash in. Seth Rollins would cash in on Bill Goldberg. I think that would do a lot for Seth Rollins. It would give a lot of credibility to him that he's the one that cashed in. Goldberg, could have retired as World Heavyweight Champion, and he got it squandered. I mean, but you got him focused on John Cena and CM Punk, which I'm tired of I'm tired of the CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud, bro. Like, this ain't the same thing he had with McIntyre.
No,
like
it ain't.
This one is kind of tired at this point. You want to see Seth Rollins do something different. You want to see CM Punk do something different.
Yep.
And then it's like, I don't know. I just, and then we'll go real quick to that main event right quick. I don't understand what the hell they're doing with John Cena. Like, it's weird. They're testing it.
Yeah. I think they're working towards a double turn. If you ask me, they're working towards a double turn. Because if you go back to Cody's match with Randy Orton,
yeah,
they kind of planted a seed in that match to where Cody technically cheated, but he didn't cheat. But that sets up, he will do whatever he has to do to win the match. He even said it. I'll do whatever I have to do to win, And that being his mentor, knowing that Randy was going to go there made it easy for Cody to use that option. And I think that's going to create a conflict because you're slowly starting to see Cena turn face.
Yeah.
You're slowly starting to see that. So I think you're going to get a slow build on both. And then at SummerSlam, you're going to get a double turn.
I think that's where they're going. I really do believe that.
Yeah.
And honestly, you kind of wonder, okay, where now do you go with Randy Orton? That's because Orton obviously you can be Orton can be a heel, but at this point you're going to run into the same issue you have with Seth Rollins. Nobody wants to boo Randy Orton at this point. It just gets to a certain time where people just don't want to boo the guy anymore.
Yeah,
and I think they like the babyface Randy Orton.
Yep.
Give the fans something different. The fans want to see a heel Cody Rhodes. Give them the heel Cody Rhodes. A heel Cody Rhodes as world champion with a Randy Orton chasing him. That's intriguing to me. That's a good story that can be built right there. With Randy Orton babyface chasing a heel Cody Rhodes, and you can put some guys with Cody Rhodes. You can put Rhodes with a couple of dudes that can watch his back.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring somebody up, like you bring someone up that he can align with on the roster. Okay, well, who do you bring up with Cody Rhodes that can align with him? And this might sound far-fetched. Don't know. I know they're refuting, but you get to the main roster, that doesn't mean shit. I would actually, if I was to build a new faction in WWE with Cody Rhodes as a heel, I'm bringing up Ricky Saints and Ethan Page. And aligning him.
Hell yeah.
Aligning them with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
You already know the connection.
Yep.
You know what the connection is. That's what I would
There's a degree of realism in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that. But going back to this main event,
Yeah.
Max said it too. It ruined what could have been a solid match because at that point, before everybody started running out, they had me. I was like, bro, I think they really may let Punk go over in this match. I was like, I think he actually may win it because it took 3 attitude adjustments and he's still kicking out. I was like, bro, they about to get him the strap. Like, that's
Bro,
wild.
it was by far okay. I know the deal with wrestling is a work. I understand it.
Right.
I've actually gotten in the ring and taken bumps. I get it. That was the phoniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like it was so choreographically safe.
Both guys are they're
I understand. I understand. Okay, I get that. But fuck, bro. Like it was a
hey
safe
man,
match.
veterans, bro.
Yeah, it was
Veterans
safe.
working.
But you know that's that. But you know what? I'm saying that, but it's smart work
It
because
is. I was just about to say
because
that.
because Jake the Snake said it best. Just go out there and do the basics. You know, you still got him.
Yep. Play the hits. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna say that too. It's like that also speaks volumes to what you don't need a lot to hook the crowd. You don't need a lot.
Well, you got okay, but here's the thing: you're going into an area, territory, a country that's starved for WWE. They
Right.
don't get WWE very often, so anything
Right.
can hook them. But if you try that shit here in the United States, you might get a different reaction.
This is true too. This is
So
true too.
that's
But
the thing.
I thought for what it was a good match.
Yeah, it was all right. It was okay. I mean, but too many false finishes for me. You kind of killed the attitude adjustment. And you kind of killed
The
the
GTS.
go to sleep and all that. You kind of
Yeah.
like, okay, damn, bro, like fuck, how
Comment
many
of the
more do you
day.
got there?
Finishers don't be finishing no more.
No, they don't. I remember back in the day, you would be dropped, but I'm gonna tell you, we used to call WCW out for the same shit. When they would
Yep.
have a big main event match going on, and they have all these run-ins, and it's like there was never a clean finish in WCW. Okay, well I'm doing the same thing now with WWE. Where's the clean finishes? They're
That's
arguing.
what I
It's
said earlier.
the same shit.
Yep.
It's
Give me
like
a
it's the
clean
same
finish,
shit,
man.
clean finish, and it's like it's the same thing. But going back real quick to the match, John Cena was kind of showing there's still some traits of Anakin Skywalker there, if you know what I'm saying. Like
Yep. Yep.
he had the belt, they were chanting no, he dropped it. But then Vader came out at the end when he embraced Obi-Wan, and you saw the look on his face, right? And yeah.
Yep.
So
Absolutely, man. But yeah, decent match. But real quick question from Mac: thoughts on the Rumble being held in Saudi? I WWE is in this transitional state to where they're starting to build home bases. Saudi looks like it's going to be one. And this is the TKO model. So I will say for UFC, because they have Fight Island in Saudi. For UFC, they have a hub there. They also have a hub in Vegas, and it looks like WWE is starting to mimic that. They're moving headquarters from Stanford to Vegas. Sounds like that's the rumor, and they've held more events in Saudi, and I think you're starting to get to where they're basing themselves in different places, but it's also I would like to see them move around more, especially with the PLEs. Move around more, let other cities experience that. Don't hold it in one traditional spot because, especially for Mania, bro, Mania in Vegas, it's expensive. Mania in general is expensive, and it's like you're catering to the elite, especially if you're going to places like Vegas and Saudi. your normal fan base can't get to these places on the regular, man. It's just too expensive. So move around, and I think that's what Vince understood the most is I have to be around in these cities because if I go around these cities, more people will come out to the show. I make it more accessible. And it seems like they're getting away from making WWE accessible to people. I could be wrong about that, but moving it to places like Vegas and Saudi, and you're holding more of they are starting to hold more of their big four PLEs overseas. There's a rumor that Mania will eventually make its way to London. And I don't mind that as much, but it can't be a normal thing. You know what I mean? You have to go back to your roots every now and then, move around, go to the different cities. If it's a cost-cutting measure, I get that. And that very well could be the case when you move it and base it in a place like Vegas. Because they do have a lot of their resources there. It just is what it is. But I would like to see them move around more. It would suck because it's kind of like they're isolating themselves and people won't be able to get there as frequently. But I could be wrong about that too.
Well, remember, a lot of people don't know this, but originally when Bischoff was trying to buy WCW with Fusent, they were going to be headquartered in Las Vegas. They actually were going to be at, I think, the Mandalay Bay or something shit. I think that's where he wanted to headquarter. They were going to have WCW, like Nitro and Thunder, were going to be in Vegas. That's where they were moving it from Atlanta to Las Vegas. And it's just, I kind of think that the special family attraction that WWE once was is gone. It's now
agree with that.
It's more now. I'm seeing greed. I'm seeing more people that are going to these shows because I'm reading the reviews on Ticketmaster that are not being entertained anymore.
Right.
And they're looking for the alternative. And this is where AEW comes into play because you can afford to go to AEW shows. Tony Khan hasn't maxed out the audience as far as ticket sales and ticket prices. You actually can go there. You can have a fun time going to AEW. You're going to get these great matches. You're going to get this quality content and quantity of matches. You're not getting that. You can't tell me that I'm going to spend $1,300 plus taxes to sit in the front row at a WWE PLE. Probably more than that. Yep. Okay, $1,300 right now is what's going right now. Just sit on the floor for SmackDown here in San Antonio on July 18th. So 4 matches on the PLE or 5 matches, but you want to charge me $1,300 plus fees and all this other shit? It's ridiculous, bro.
Yep.
For most people, most Americans out there, that's your fucking mortgage. That's your rent. They're just, it's greed. But as long as the marks keep paying this shit, they're gonna keep doing it. And that's what it is. Yep. Because in my opinion, if you are spending that much money on wrestling, you're a mark.
There's no way around that. I can't even clean that one up. There's no way around that. That's true. That's very true. But speaking of AEW, let's pivot. Let's jump into them for a second because we do have some stuff to talk about with them.
Yeah.
AEW All In Texas is coming, and I want to address something. We just talked about the ticket prices. The ticket prices are still low. There is a discounted link. I'm going to share that in a group as well. The AEW media folks send me a link to do discounted tickets. I'll share that in a group. But ticket prices are very affordable still. And they're only gonna get lower as we get to the day, but they're rapidly selling. They are rapidly selling this show, and I just got 4 tickets to All In. I'm in a good section of the stadium. I'm in the lower 100s. 4 tickets, bro, $350.
That's unbelievable.
4 tickets.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. You're going to a pay-per-view, not PLE.
Yep,
Going to a pay-per-view, all right, and it's a big pay-per-view for not only AEW, for the entire state of Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm more excited about All In than that other show they got going on that day, that Saturday Night's Main Event shit.
Nah, it's and you can see it around here. The buzz is starting to build up. People are getting excited for the show. They've already have like flyers and stuff around the city. They've done the streets similar to what Royal Rumble did in Indy.
Yeah.
AEW's doing it all in here.
Okay.
They're starting to put stuff around the city, and it's starting to look a lot like AEW around here. So they're doing a lot of things right. They're doing a lot of promo. The shows are getting better as we move up to this. They're actually building storylines up to this show. It's a good time for AEW right now. They have a really good opportunity. I think once we get past All In, something big, we're going to be talking about something big. But one thing I do want to say that I want from them is ROH needs a home. They really do. And here's why. Because people may not know this because they're not tapped into ROH. But they did a Global Wars event with CMLL when they did the Grand Slam Mexico. One of the things that happened on that is the return of Bryan Danielson, but it's only on ROH. And if you don't follow ROH, you don't know that Bryan Danielson actually returned in Mexico.
Well, speaking of Lucha Libre real quick, did you know that somebody else made a return the other day? I saw this on MLW. Someone attacked Mexico.
Yes.
MJF attacked Mexico on MLW.
Yep.
And this is, a lot of people don't know, this is where MJF got pretty much his start. Like, that's why I first saw him, was in MLW.
Yep.
And he came out there in a mask and all that, and the people went crazy. Like, oh, that's the MJF. Yep. Yes, it was. But they're not talking about these things because the exposure is not there. So I do agree with you. Ring of Honor definitely needs a home. And that's where Tony Khan has to go to Warner Brothers or go to some other outlet to try to sell this TV show. Yeah. You got a lot of different and it's like, where is the Ring of Honor library at? Why is this not on the Max?
Right. They do need to add that to the Max, but they still have this Honor Club app. I don't know what the situation is with that app.
Yeah.
But I would find a way at least to put this on Max. Yeah. Because it fits. You can add that to the subscription. It could be a Max only thing. And you could probably get more subscriptions to Max. The people that are already on Max, it's an added benefit for them.
You know, honestly, bro, like, so let me put my booking hat on for a second here. So, you know, I would love for Tony Khan to do a series with Ring of Honor versus AEW. I think something like that could work. Instead of, and you're exposing Ring of Honor talent on the bigger networks. You're doing that. And you could have like a Survivor Series style match with them. You know, that's where you have this kind of an invasion thing going on in AEW, where you have all these Ring of Honor stars over here. Maybe the Death Riders align with Ring of Honor, and somehow the Death Riders got control of Ring of Honor. They control that. We have the AEW title, but we are Ring of Honor.
Right.
You do something like that, and you have this conflict between the two organizations that builds to blood and guts, where you have ROH versus AEW. And the whole purpose of this match is to put over Ring of Honor in that cage match.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Ring of Honor wins, if Ring of Honor wins the match, then AEW Collision becomes our show. Ring of Honor Collision is what it will become.
I like that. I like it. a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So
You
I
put
just think,
Athena versus Mercedes.
yeah, they need to do that on a big stage. That's a big stage.
That's
match.
what I'm talking. That's what I'm
That's a
talking
big
about.
stage
You
match.
have Mercedes out there. She's Mercedes out there. She beats Timeless Tony, and then boom, here comes Athena, and Athena just
Yep.
knocks. Like, wait, what's going on here? Like, what are
Yep.
these Ring of Honor people doing here? You know, that's what you do, because Ring of Honor is kind of like the little, redheaded stepchild in the corner, and like we're tired of this. We need some direction, and somebody's working with somebody stole Ring of Honor from Tony Khan, because Tony Khan said, "I have purchased Ring of Honor." Someone stole Ring of Honor from Tony Khan. Somehow somebody got in there and did some mischievous, dirty shit and stole it from him,
Yep.
right? So you reveal who that person is that went in there and stole Ring of Honor. And you know what I would have done? It's never going to happen. But for me, that person would have been Shane McMahon.
I was thinking that.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. But yes, I agree. I definitely agree with that. If that could happen, it'd be dope. It'd be a
Yeah.
dope situation. It really would. But we were talking offline about some of the things that we liked about AEW, and one of them just happened to be the syndicate and what they're doing.
Yeah.
I
They hurt
really
people.
like what MJF and
MVP.
Yeah, and MVP are doing, man. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Dude, that, I mean, just the listen, I have seen some stuff in this business, in these shows. I've seen all this shit, bro. One of the coolest things I seen was when MJF, after they beat them dudes down, MVP says, "Bring out the tag team titles to the champions."
We going to the ring.
Hit our music. And then you hear the second music play, and then they get in the ring. That's some G shit, bro.
That was some G shit. And Shelton tucked back in the shirt and shit. I was like, bro.
Yeah. Bobby put
I
his
gotta look
glasses back
clean.
on.
I just want your ass. I gotta look clean, bro.
Yeah. And the camera zooms in on Steve Hall. You're like, that's excellent. And you kind of, I don't know if they're gonna go that direction or not, with some kind of rift between Lashley and, I don't know. I hope they don't.
I hope they don't either.
Keep this group together the way it is right now. Because I'll admit, at the beginning I was like, I don't know, MJF don't really, he ain't vibe with this. Now they're more ruthless now,
Yeah.
And I think that's the added addition to MJF.
Yeah.
Where it's more of a ruthless faction. And I think what's going to end up happening, once again, booking, you're going to have MJF get that championship.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, Lashley's going to want that belt. That's where you're going to start seeing the confidence. But we got a long ways.
We got a ways to go. Yeah, we got a ways to go. But
I'm digging it.
You can make it fun the whole way there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can make it fun the whole way. And then once it's time to get into business, we were just waiting our time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were just waiting our time. We knew you were going to make it.
And also, another segment that happened that I saw was on Collision. It was a backstage segment with MVP, Nick Wayne, and Christian Cage.
Yep.
And I like the idea of a Christian Cage and Nick Wayne versus Lashley and Benjamin.
Yep.
That's kind of, I think, what they would build to for All In Texas. The thing is, though, is that both teams are heels, so somebody's going to have to put a baby face.
Somebody's got to be,
You know what I mean? So I like the idea. I like what they're doing here, because they got they're slowly positioning the syndicate to be the main focus of the show. Okay,
yep.
And I'm digging that aspect of what they're doing here. And I like the fact that MJF says, it ain't you, Hangman.
It's me.
That's gonna get the belt from it's me. So I like that. They got all these stories, and once again, they're making the AEW Championship the most important title in professional wrestling. They are.
Yep.
That's exactly what they're doing, because it's like Moxley is holding this hostage, and you have the entire AEW right now that's trying to get the belt from it. And that's why I say, if I were them, this is where Ring of Honor would come in to help Moxley. He needs more people to combat AEW. That's what I would do.
Yep. That'd be awesome. And you're right. I don't know how they did it, but they've managed to make that title the most important thing because for a while it was just like, this don't make sense. Like, where are they going with this? But in the midst of that, you have the entire company is like, we need to get this belt back.
Well, it's because I think when you took Moxley, you put the belt on him, and I don't know what the original plan was for the angle, whatever. That's history.
Yeah.
Talking about now.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is that the Death Riders are just running roughshod over AEW. That's the story they're telling.
Right.
So in order to get to them, you got to get the boss, who is Moxley. But I don't know if I don't know if All In is the place that this is going to happen.
You don't need it to happen at all.
I don't think this is the. I honestly, to me, I don't know if I necessarily take the belt off Moxley right now. I think you wait for you wait for an MJF.
Yeah. And if you look at, so I look at the quarter hours. I've become that guy. If you look at the quarter hours, the two highest segments, coincidentally, are the Hurt Syndicate and the Death Riders. Those are the two highest segments on the show. Yeah. So your top three is anytime Tony and Mercedes are on, the Death Riders and the Hurt Syndicate. Those are the three.
Yeah.
So it makes sense if I'm looking at this, and people may hate Tony Khan for it, but if you look at the quarter hours, he's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
and I kind of agree with you. If you don't need to, if I'm looking at these numbers, I'm like, let's keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean they're telling stories. I mean, you got everybody's doing something,
right?
FTR is doing their thing. I'm digging the FTR with Sophie Hathaway.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So I'm digging their show more than anything going on in WWE right now.
I would agree with that. Which is why I'm like, I need Ring of Honor to get a TV show, because
I love the idea I came up with for a Ring of Honor invasion. That's the only way right now you can actually get them on the show.
Yep.
You have to turn it into an angle. You remember, originally when Vince bought WCW, he wanted them to be a separate entity. He wanted it to be a separate thing, and Viacom didn't want a WCW show. So that's why they had to turn it into the invasion angle. You can do the same thing with Ring of Honor. Even if Tony Khan right now can't get them a TV deal, you own the intellectual property. You own it. You can bring them on the show.
Yeah, you can make them appealing. So right now, the plan is, and if you're not watching Ring of Honor, you may not know this, but Thunder Rosa versus Athena is planned for All In. They've been setting that angle up. Yeah, they've been setting that angle up on Ring of Honor for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. STP, Shane Taylor Promotions, is one of the hottest things they got in AEW, and they're kind of doing their Death Rider thing on Ring of Honor, but the shit's been working. They've been doing work, but there's a lot to build off of. So they have champions like Lee Moriarty, who's the pure champion, who's been doing he's been doing great work as a pure champion. Red Velvet is the TV champion. And
no shit.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. She's been, bro, what they do on ROH is they've been doing some good shit, man. And you wouldn't know this if you don't have the app. The only reason I watch it is because that's one of the best shows AEW's got, but nobody's talking about it because nobody has access to it, which is why I'm like, I'm the same way with TNA. Like, if you ask me, the top three things that's going on right now is Ring of Honor, TNA, and AEW. Those are the hottest three, but you wouldn't know the other two exist because you don't have access to them.
Right.
So it's they need to get deals. If I were to say TNA got a TV deal, which I think they're working towards, if TNA got a TV deal and Ring of Honor got a TV deal, they would easily own the nights that they work on, because they have the most compelling wrestling. So,
and mind you, all the Tony Khan haters out there, this guy is booking Ring of Honor, by the way.
Yeah, killing it, bro. He's killing it. So yeah, please get them a
And
TV deal.
he's doing a lot better job at what he's doing than what I've seen over at WWE. Because when I'm watching WWE, and that's very rarely that I watch them, I watch segments of things.
Yep.
And he's doing a hell. I'm more entertained with what they're doing on AEW for what I've seen than anything I've seen over at WWE. And by the way, R-Truth had a nice little run, didn't he?
We totally missed that. But yes, did just enough to bring my guy back.
Yeah. Is it R-Truth or is it Ron Killings?
They don't know. Because now he's back to R-Truth.
Yep. Well, yeah, he had his, I guess. I thought there would have been more here with that. I thought they would have done a whole lot more with that situation.
They have the tools.
Not knocking him. I mean, I think
I don't think it's his fault.
I don't think so either. I don't know. I would think that I would have thought if anybody was going to come out there in Saudi during the Cena match,
it'd be him.
Would have been Ron Killings would have came out there.
It's not his fault for what he's done. Even the work he's done outside the WWE when he returned, he did enough to draw attention to himself and make himself. If you'd have said the Ron Killings that showed up after he came back, if they kept that Ron Killings going, he's arguably the most important person in the WWE right now.
Right.
Because of what he was able to do. He's unpredictable, he's real, and it's raw. And you just let him do his thing. They stopped letting him cook.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand the logic in that at all. And you put him in a feud with Aleister Black, which that just came out of nowhere. I mean, I see the story they built there, though. He interrupted him twice. I get that part.
Yeah.
And I'm open to see where they go with it. But it's like, dude, you were just in the feud with John Cena, and you haven't closed that arc yet with Cena.
Stay there.
Yeah, but you want to okay, we're gonna push him to the side now, and we're gonna put him in here with Aleister Black. I don't know, dude. If I was doing anything with Aleister Black, I'd be feuding Aleister Black with Karrion Kross. Personally.
Common sense says this.
Yeah.
Common sense says this. And the angle you could have went, because I've seen theories out there with Truth and Cena, is R-Truth was you were his childhood hero. But Ron Killings, you are me, Cena. You are everything that I was. You stole me. That I had to build R-Truth. And you could have went that direction and that story would have made so much fucking sense. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. I feel like they did just enough to bring him back, give him a little spotlight for a second, and now he's back to his regularly scheduled program.
I guess that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
I hope that's not the case, but
what are they doing with the New Day?
They don't know. The tag division in general needs to be figured out across the board. It needs to be figured out. Tag wrestling is it's all over the place, man. It really is. When you have one of the greatest tag teams on separate brands, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
You're doing something very wrong. There's no reason why you can't build a division of tag wrestling around the Lucha Brothers.
Bro, why is Phoenix tag team with Andrade?
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Have we ever had a match between the Prophets and the New Day?
No, we haven't.
So,
there you go.
Why are we not seeing this? But like you just said, I'm sorry. Why not put the Lucha Brothers back together? You're not doing shit with Penta now. Penta's yesterday's news.
Exactly. You got him running out during the main event, and everybody's wondering why. Put him with his brother, man. But yeah,
That's so random, dude. That Andrade and Ray Phoenix is just so random to me.
it's a random pairing.
That's really like if I'm playing WWE 2K and put a tag together, like just randomly put them together. That's it. You'll put them two together, and the other tag team would be a Carmelo Hayes and the Miz.
Yep. But I don't know. We're just some smart marks over here.
We are. But I'm a smart mark not to pay $400 plus for a ticket to WWE.
Absolutely.
That's how much of a smart mark I am.
Yep. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into these final shots and thoughts. Let's start wrapping this thing up. All right, man, what you got?
Nothing. Just gonna continue my build. As I mentioned before, for the Vader build I'm doing for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Trying to get that done. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be working my ass off. Trying to complete that. I got some things I need to do as far as, it's just, dude, when you're 3D printing shit, it just takes so much time to get it done.
A whole bunch of
just that. Yeah, a whole bunch of waiting, just sitting around, basically just, doing nothing. So that's it, bro. Like there's really nothing else going on. Like I said, man, I'm looking forward to All In Texas and what AEW is going to do. This is one of the biggest shows of the year, especially for them as a company. I hope it does well for them. I think sky is the limit for what they're doing. I'm really, really interested in AEW product, and Tony Khan he's won me back. And I think one of the best moves that they ever did was putting the show on the max. And having that library on the max. I think that's drawing a lot more viewership for AEW, hopefully. And I think that just going back and just, looking at the process here of the stories that they're trying to tell, I think that's a good thing here.
Yeah.
I am not at all excited about anything going on in WWE. Like, it's just everything over there is just so predictable right now. Other than Hikuleo making his debut, I have no interest in their product, to be honest. I think that you've kind of wasted John Cena somewhat with this heel turn. It's not gone, I think, the way they wanted to go. Cena's even said himself that they've pivoted a lot from what the original plan was, which obviously involved The Rock.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, bro. Like, I'm just, I think it's just a one day at a time situation. So, but yeah, that's it. Looking forward to hooking up with the squad out here when it's time for me to do some 501st stuff. So I am looking forward to that. Putting on a costume and an official 501st Lucasfilm, event. So that'd be kind of cool.
Nice, man. Congratulations once again. That's a hell of an achievement.
No, it actually is, bro. I was about to give the fuck up, to be honest. It's just, remember earlier what I was saying about don't give up. Well, there's been plenty of times where I just wanted to give up and just be like, the hell with it, bro. But yeah, I kept going. That's why I tell people all the time, this ain't no kind of like, oh man, like some corny ass shit. I'm being real. You feel me? Like, you put your mind on something, you complete the task. Just keep it going. You feel me?
Yep.
And that's what I did. And other than that, hey, remember out there, people, help control the pet population. All right, have your pets spayed or neutered. And also remember, we're in summertime now. All right. So my advice is this, bro. Like, if you don't want to be outside at 8 o'clock in the morning when it's hot, barefoot walking down the street, why the fuck would your dog want to be out there walking on the damn hot ass pavement? Come on, people, use common sense.
Yep. Please. But good stuff, man. Make sure you guys tap in. We got new shows dropping this week. We know USDN did a live show. Eat the Cake Anime is dropping. Cutting Edge Hero. Make sure you guys tap in. Nightmares and Nerdscapes. We have pretty much everybody's dropping shows this week. So stay tuned. DFPN.com. Follow all the respective podcasts. And don't forget, donate. We are not monetized. Donate to your boy. So help him out. But that's it. That's all I got.
That's all we got. We are set to be approaching episode 100, which is like I said earlier in the beginning. It's a big deal for us. Don't know what the hell we're going to do yet for the 100th episode, but it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's it for us, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, share with your people. But until then, you guys take care of each other. Enjoy what you're going to enjoy. Peace.
And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmick. Yeah. And I know it's all business, all business, all business. We give them no gimmicks.